guys, welcome back to a brand new video. If you're new to my channel, you're very welcome. My name is Busola. I am a medical doctor living and practicing in Lagos, Nigeria. I make videos about medicine, lifestyle, and everything in between. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Check out my videos. I am sure that you would absolutely love them. And if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back, fam. Today's video is a little bit unusual for me, but I feel like it is long overdue. And the way I knew was somebody's comment on one of my most recent videos where they were asking me what the update with my career is, and it is something that I have kind of been keeping under wraps because it's something that is not very easy to talk about. I have actually been going through quite a lot, which is why I have avoided it for quite some time. But I think that there is some importance in sharing this video because a lot of people are going through this and we don't talk about it enough. We actually don't talk about it at all. We just chest it and we just go through it in silence, and nobody really knows what is going on. In Nigeria, we love to suffer and smile, and I am trying to break that cycle. So I am here giving you the raw details of what I have been going through with my career as a medical doctor in Nigeria. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. This video is very difficult for me to make. I am somebody who hates uncertainty. I don't thrive well in uncertain conditions, and that is something that I have been going through for quite a while now. For people who don't know my story, I'm going to quickly give you a rundown of where I am career-wise as a medical doctor right now. I graduated medical school end of 2021. I started a house job in December 2021, the same year, about 2-3 months after graduating from medical school. I finished housemanship or house job December of 2022, and the whole of 2023 I used it to write and pass the licensing exams to become a medical doctor or a licensed medical doctor in the UK. And this same year was the year when I was doing my NYSC. So I was doing NYSC and working, and also at the same time preparing for the PLAB 1 and the PLAB 2 examinations. End of 2023, December, I think 26th of 2023, my PLAB 2 results came out. I got my license last year, March of 2024, because there was a bit of a process in actually getting the license. There are still a bunch of things that you need to do and you need to be verified on to get the license. And immediately I got my license, I started applying for jobs in the UK. My plan was to be able to move to the UK by the end of last year, 2024. So I thought, or my plans were that before December of 2024, I would have moved to the UK. All of this while I was still working as a medical officer in an emergency room in Lagos. That is where I still work right now. If you're confused about my environment, I am currently in the UK but not work. I did not move to the UK yet. I am on annual leave and I came to the UK to spend my vacation basically. So just assume that I'm in Nigeria now because I am still living in Nigeria. Okay, now to the meat of the story. The last 1 year has been very difficult for me. Trying to apply for jobs, trying to get jobs in the UK, it has been extremely difficult. There is an anxiety and some form of depression that comes with this job hunting process because it just feels like, to me, and I've said this to a lot of my close friends or my loved ones, it just feels like it's reached our turn, me and my friend's turn, and everything is just changing. And the amount of changes that has happened between last year and now is insane. The job hunting process is extremely difficult now. You guys, I applied to over 100 jobs within March and June of 2024, and I did not get one interview. So it's not like I did not get one offer. I did not get one interview. I know people that have applied to over 250 jobs with not one interview. Now let me put this into perspective. This was not the case before. 2-3 years before this, by the time you are passing your PLAB, within a month, 2 months, tops 4 months, you have gotten a job in the UK. By job, I mean a non-training job in the UK. So you're not particularly starting residency, you're working as a medical officer in that sense, basically. These jobs were very easy to get. You know, you're already licensed and you can show competency that you can actually work there, right? In the past year, things have become almost impossible. Applying for and getting jobs in the UK, especially non-training jobs in the UK, has become almost impossible. I don't know how else to frame this. It is brutal out there, and it is very, very sad because we spent so much money, so much time, so much effort into writing and passing these exams to be licensed, because the plan and the idea was that you would be able to get a job. Nobody just goes and spends all of that money just to get a UK license for sure. Okay, the plan was to get this license to be able to get a job and to be able to move to the UK. Now, so many people are with licenses, so many people have passed the PLAB exams without a job, and I am one of them. The past 1 year has been extremely difficult for me, and I wish that as I was speaking right now, I had like a turnaround thing where I say, oh, okay, after all of that, I wish this was a success story. I wish I was sitting down here and I was sharing my success story, and I wish that at the end of this video I was going to tell you guys that, oh, now, even though it was difficult, I finally now have a job in the UK and I am moving to the UK. But that is not the case. Like, literally, things are still as hopeless as ever. It is so crazy. The only other option for people in my shoes is to write another exam called the MSRA exams to be able to start residency directly in the UK, and that is also not a walk in the park. It could be difficult to pass. It is very unpredictable. The exam is extremely unpredictable, and you don't really know what the outcome is going to be. I have people who I know are extremely smart failing these exams because of how subjective these exams are. And even after you pass, the likelihood that you will get a job is becoming lower and lower. And on top of that, even that pathway, that residency pathway, is about to also close right now because UK trained medical doctors are already having a pushback, and they are already talking to their government to block that route for us internationally trained medical doctors. They don't want to take us directly into their residency program anymore. They are currently suggesting that even though we already have the license to practice in the UK, there should be another stopgap before you can apply into residency in the UK, and that is for you to have at least 2 years of working experience in the NHS. Now, like I said, non-training jobs are almost impossible to get. So basically what this is saying, if this bill passes, or if this law that they are trying to push passes, is that nothing for anybody anymore. Like, if they block this residency route, which is already extremely difficult for us, if they block this route, then being able to work at all in the UK, even though you have the license, you've passed all the requirements to be able to work in the UK, you are licensed, literally licensed to be able to work in the UK, you cannot do so anymore. So yes guys, that is the updates. I know this is a sad video. Like, I was, a part of me was kind of stalling, and that's why I've not really spoken about it. I was stalling and I was trying to get some good news, right? I was trying to get something. Like, I was waiting for when I get a job so that I could come here and tell my story, you know, to be able to have like a light at the end of the tunnel and have like a moral of the lesson, or teach you guys how I did it and, you know, how to do it as well, even though it's difficult. You know, just something uplifting, something that will not be as depressing as this. But unfortunately, I don't have any good news. And at this point, I'm actually just tired of stalling and just, and not talking about the elephants in the room. I shared the news when I got licensed to practice in the UK, and everybody was extremely happy. I was also very happy, very excited when I shared the news. It was a long process, a 2-year long process that took everything in me to complete. It took a lot of dedication, a lot of teamwork. The money I spent getting that license was not cheap. Okay, it took a lot to be able to achieve that, and it seemed like a no-brainer. Get your license and get a job. That was what the pathway was before, right? Like, it seemed like a no-brainer, and that made me so happy. At the time that I got my license, getting jobs were already getting a bit difficult, but everyone would tell you at the time that, oh, just keep applying, like apply to as many as possible and it would eventually pay off. Now that is no longer the case, and the situation is actually quite hopeless. So yes, that is the update currently. So the next question is, what are my next steps? What would I want to do given what is happening currently? What are my next steps? My next step currently is to continue working at my job in Nigeria, and I am actually still in the process of considering USMLE. When I was about to start the PLAB process, it was always an option between UK and US, and like I've said here before, a lot of things made me end up choosing the UK over the US, and I ended up doing the UK. I did everything that was required of me, and now that it is not working out, I am looking into doing the US. That is one option. Okay, starting the USMLE process, because believe it or not, I still don't want to stay back in Nigeria. I have always known since medical school that I did not want to spend the entirety of my career practicing in Nigeria. I want to get some outside of the country training in either the UK or the US. So we just have to look at another option as it is. That is number one. Number two, I mentioned the MSRA exams, which is the exam to match into the UK residency program. Even though that door is closing with what I already explained with the pushback on UK trained medical doctors, it is still an option, and that is still an option I am still exploring. I don't have an update on that currently, but if there's an update anytime soon, I'll let you guys know how that is also going, or what the outcome of that also is. But currently I don't have an update that I can share right now. Hopefully soon I should have an update, and I should know if that is even an option for me or not. This is where we currently are. Do I still want to work in the UK? Yes, absolutely. I still want to work in the UK. If I have an option, if I have a job offer, I am still working on that. I am still in that process as well. I have not completely given up. It is just very, very difficult at the moment, is what I'm saying. It is looking very bleak, like everything is just looking very hopeless, and that has given me so much anxiety in the past few months. So yeah, but eventually at the end of the day, if the UK doesn't work out, then we have to just cut our losses and move on. I just needed to come out here to tell you guys about what is going on, because I know a lot of you guys have DM'd me, and I have started seeing comments asking about what the update is, and I can't just keep quiet anymore. Okay, so yeah, that is where we are currently. I am still currently working in Nigeria. But yeah, that brings us to the end of this video. I wish it was a happier one. I am not in the best of moods, I cannot even lie, even though I am here in the UK and I'm supposed to be having fun. This whole situation just clouds everything. I don't know if you guys can relate to that, but it is not an easy process. If you know anybody in the PLAB pathway, people who have gotten their UK licenses and they have not moved to the UK, they've not started working in the UK, try and not bombard them with questions, because that can also be very annoying. We are already going through a lot, then the constant questions like the constant questions from everybody. Oh, why are you still here? I thought you were already gone. I thought you were working in the UK. Why are you still working in Nigeria? All those questions can be quite depressing because we are already going through a lot as it is. There is a Yoruba proverb or adage that says "Adìẹ làágùn, ìyẹ́ ara ẹni kò jẹ́ ká mọ̀," meaning that the chicken is actually sweating, like the chicken is going through a lot, but because the chicken has feathers, you can't really see it. So because people seem to be okay and they seem to be doing well, does not mean that they don't have their personal struggles. And I think that we should be more sensitive with that. That being said, I am not trying to refer to myself. I put my business on the internet, and so I am not offended that you guys actually care enough to want to know about what the update is, which is why I have come here to give you an update. My medical school life and my medical career is something that I have always been open on my channel about. That's literally what my channel is about, so that is why I do not have any issues with you guys actually asking me, because I literally put my business out there. I told you guys, I brought you guys into my business, and so it is not far-fetched that you guys actually just want to know what is going on. So yeah, that is what is going on. If you are a praying person, please just keep me in your prayers, and yeah, I think that will be fine eventually. It's just a difficult time. I am not a stranger to difficult times. In medical school, I went through a lot of difficult times. So this is not new to me. It is not strange to me. It just sucks still. You never get used to suffering. You never get used to dealing with difficulties. Okay, so it's still not something that I'm used to. But yeah, that is the end of this video. That is the updates concerning my career. Thank you guys for coming with me on my journey all the way from medical school up until now, and we'll see how everything unfolds. Yeah, that is all I am willing to share in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to be kind to yourself and be kind to others. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.